So my name's Justin Butler. I'm CEO and founder of Ambiental, the flood and environmental risk modelling company, recently acquired by Royal HaskoningDHV to improve the way that insurers, reinsurers and the finance community assess and communicate risk from flood and other natural hazards. In terms of working with multiple partnerships to improve resilience, there's new initiatives such as the Coalition for Climate Resilient Investment, and that is an amalgam of around 30 organisations in the insurance value chain around the world, which is looking at new methods for investing in sustainable infrastructure. Because if your city's airport is made resilient, then your city is resilient. If these key infrastructure components are impacted and interrupted by windstorms, floods or other natural events, that can really have an impact on that city itself. I also think in terms of driving building back better. If a property or a business is impacted by a flood or another type of natural hazard, just reinstating new for old is losing out on an opportunity. By being able to make a property and people more resilient or resistant to an event, you're actually progressing and enhancing resilience. In terms of data services, the role of early warning as a key driver for improving resilience shouldn't be underestimated. It's thought that every pound invested in early warning systems can save £100 in avoided damages. So the use of satellite data, ground-based sensors, Internet of Things, for example, can be used to provide more accurate and timely early warnings so that people and business owners and infrastructure operators can actually take steps to reduce the losses before they happen. I think also one area that needs to be invested in more is climate models, because a number of the models which have been constructed to date rely on historical data to predict the future. There's definitely a need for incorporating information about how the climate and the weather is going to perform in the future, so we have a better understanding of risk in terms of hazard, exposure and vulnerability across the sector. The question around data supply and availability of data is a key one, and there's a real enabler for developing new types of technology around the resilience theme. So the proliferation of satellite data providers offering higher spatial and temporal resolution means that we can get the right data to the right people at the right time. And especially if we're dealing with complex supply chains with interactions between entities, those domino effects or cascading effects between those nodes in a supply chain can now be better analysed, and early warning systems can be triggered around that. So, for example, it's not just flooding and other types of natural disaster impacting property, but business interruption caused by low river levels, such that cargo can't be transferred through major rivers around the world. That's also providing a real problem in terms of productivity and business interruption. So having access to data from ground-based sensors and new types of satellite image, I think is really going to power the insurance industry going forward and help strategize and plan for improving resilience and mitigating against risk.